I was in a meeting when my phone buzzed. A text from my wife, Sarah. I glanced at it, expecting her usual, "What time will you be home?" or, "Can you pick up milk?" Instead, I saw a photo of our bedroom. Our bed, specifically. Unmade, clothes scattered on the floor. Then another photo. Sarah in lingerie I'd never seen before, standing in our bedroom, taking a mirror selfie. Then a text. "Miss you already. Can't wait for tonight. Look what I'm wearing for you." I stare at my phone. Read it again. We'd had sex maybe twice in the last 2 months. She was always too tired or not in the mood. I'd never seen that lingerie before. And she just sent me a text clearly meant for someone else. Another text came through. "Oh my God. Wrong person. Delete that. Please delete that." Then, "Brian, I'm so sorry. Please don't look at those." Brian. My name was Brian. But she was apologizing to me for sending me photos meant for someone else. Which meant she had 2 contacts named Brian in her phone. Me, her husband, and someone else. I stood up from the conference table. "Excuse me. Family emergency." Walked out of the meeting. Went straight to my car. Opened my phone and looked at the photos again. Our bedroom. The one I'd painted last summer. The bed I'd assembled. The dresser we'd picked out together. And my wife, in lingerie I'd never seen, sending photos to another man. I screenshot everything. The photos, the texts, the timestamp. Then I call my attorney, Mark Sullivan. "Mark, I need a file for divorce. Right now." "Brian, what happened?" "My wife just accidentally sent me texts and photos meant for her affair partner. She thought she was texting him, but she texted me instead." "She sent you evidence of her affair?" "Photos. Explicit texts. All of it. Timestamp from 20 minutes ago. In our bedroom. Send me everything. I'll start the paperwork immediately." I forwarded him the screenshots. Then I drove home. Sarah's car was in the driveway. I parked and sat there for a moment, looking at a house we bought 3 years ago. The life I'd thought we were building. All of a lie. I walked in. Sarah was in the living room, phone in her hand, looking panicked. "Brian, I can explain." "Who is he?" "What?" "The other Brian. Who is he?" She sat down on the couch. "It's not what you think. You sent me photos of yourself in lingerie in our bedroom, saying you can't wait for tonight. What am I supposed to think?" "It was a mistake. I was texting my friend Brian, and I accidentally." "Your friend Brian? You have a friend named Brian I don't know about." "He's just a guy from work. We talk sometimes. It's harmless." "Harmless friends don't get lingerie photos." I was joking around. It wasn't serious. I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots. "This looks serious. Miss you already. Can't wait for tonight. What did you see him?" "This morning." She started crying. "Please, let me explain." "So explain. When did you see Brian from work? And where?" "Because I left for work at 7:30 this morning, and you were here." She didn't answer. "Sarah, where were you this morning?" "I went to the gym." "The gym doesn't open until 6. "I know because I used to go there." "Try again." "Fine." "I met him for coffee. Before work. We just talked." "In your car?" "Because that's the only place you could have the privacy to miss him already and send him bedroom photos." "We didn't do anything." "Then why are you sending him photos in lingerie? Why are you saying you can't wait for tonight? What's happening tonight, Sarah?" She was crying harder now. "Nothing. I canceled it. The second I realized I sent those to you, I canceled everything." "What were you planning?" "He was going to come over. Tonight. While you were at your poker game. I felt like I'd been punched. You were going to bring him to our house. To our bed." "It wasn't like that." "What was it like?" "Explain to me what it was like when you were planning to have another man in our bed while I was playing poker with my friends." "I made a mistake. I was lonely. You work all the time. You barely pay attention to me anymore. So you found someone who would pay attention to you. And you were going to bring him here. Tonight. I'm sorry. I'll end it. I'll never see him again. Please, Brian. We can work through this." I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I'd married 4 years ago. The woman I'd trusted completely. "No, we can't. Please. I love you. You don't love me. You love the house I pay for. The life I provide. But you don't love me. That's not true. I already called my attorney. I'm filing for divorce. You have until the end of the week to find somewhere else to stay. You can't kick me out. This is my home too. Actually, I can. I bought this house before we got married. It's in my name only. You have no legal claim to it. I'll fight you. I'll get a lawyer. I'll take half of everything. Good luck with that. I have photos you sent me of yourself preparing to cheat on me in our marital home. My attorney already has them. You're not getting anything. She stood up. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. You were planning to cheat on me tonight. You accidentally sent me the evidence. And now you're mad that I won't pretend it didn't happen. I said I was sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't erase the fact that you were planning this. That you bought lingerie I've never seen. That you have another man you're texting. That you've been lying to me for who knows how long. It was only a few months. Only a few months. Great. That makes it so much better. She grabbed her purse. Fine. I'll leave. But you're going to regret this. The only thing I regret is not seeing this sooner. She slammed the door on her way out. I stood in my living room, in the house that suddenly felt empty, and called Mark back. She admitted everything. The affair's been going on for months. She was planning to bring him here tonight, while I was out. Did you record that conversation? No. Should I have? Would have been helpful. But the texts you sent me are enough. Photos of her in your bedroom. Explicit messages. Admission of ongoing affair. Brian, she's not getting anything close to half. Good. What do I do now? Live your life. I'll handle the legal side. And Brian? Change your locks. Today. I call locksmith. Had new locks installed by 6 p.m. Then I call my poker game host. Hey Tom, I need to cancel tonight. Wife and I are getting divorced. What? Man, I'm sorry. What happened? She accidentally sent me texts meant for her affair partner. Photos from our bedroom. Plans for tonight. Jesus. You okay? I will be. Just need time. Take all the time you need. And Brian, if you need anything, call me. Over the next week, Sarah tried everything. She called from different numbers. Showed up at my office. Sent emails. Had her friends contact me. All saying the same thing. It was a mistake. She wanted to work it out. I was being unreasonable. I blocked the numbers, had security escort her from my office, deleted the emails, blocked her friends. Then I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Brian. The other Brian. I need to talk to you. I almost blocked it. But curiosity won. Talk. Can we meet? Face to face. What? Because Sarah told me you two were separated. She said you'd been living apart for months. That the divorce was already in progress. I took a screenshot of that. Sent it to Mark. Then replied. We lived together. Lived together until she accidentally sent me the photos meant for you. We were never separated. She lied to you. She what? She lied. We were married. Living in the same house. Sleeping in the same bed. Until she sent me photos of herself in lingerie, saying she couldn't wait to see you. No response for 5 minutes. Then, I had no idea. She said you were divorcing. That it was just paperwork at this point. It is now. Because of you. I'm sorry. I never would have, if I'd known she was lying. What did you think when she said she couldn't bring you to her place? She said you were still living there temporarily. That it was complicated. It was. She was lying to both of us. I'm ending it. I want nothing to do with someone who lies like that. Good choice. He didn't respond again. The divorce moved forward. Mark presented the evidence. The photos, the texts, the timeline. Sarah's attorney tried to argue she deserved half the house. Mark showed the deed, proving I bought it 2 years before we married. They tried to argue she deserved alimony. Mark showed the photos and texts proving adultery. They tried to argue the affair was brief and meaningless. Mark showed text records going back 6 months. Every argument failed. 3 months after Sarah accidentally sent me those texts, the divorce was final. She got her personal belongings, her car, and $5,000. That was it. I kept the house, my retirement accounts, everything else. She moved in with a friend. Got a job at a different company. Couldn't face seeing Brian every day after he dumped her. I renovated the bedroom. New paint, new bed, new everything. Erased every trace of her from that room. 6 months after the divorce, I met someone. Her name was Amy. She was a graphic designer, creative and genuine. On our 4th date, she asked about my divorce. What happened? My wife accidentally sent me texts meant for her affair partner. Photos from our bedroom. Plans to bring him to our house while I was out. Amy's eyes widened. She sent them to you by accident. She had 2 contacts named Brian in her phone. Me and him. She texted the wrong one. I don't even know what to say. That's terrible. It was. But it also saved me from years of not knowing. If she hadn't messed up, I might never have found out. How do you feel about it now? Grateful. She showed me exactly who she was. I believed her and acted accordingly. That's a healthy way to look at it. I try. A year after the divorce, I sold the house. Too many memories, even after the renovation. Amy and I bought a new place together. Both our names on the deed. Fresh start. This feels right, she said on moving day. Building something new together. Agreed. 2 years after Sarah sent me those texts, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She was with a man I didn't recognize. Saw me and looked away quickly. I nodded politely and got my coffee. Didn't approach her. Didn't need to. Amy was waiting in the car. Was that her? Yeah. How do you feel? Nothing. She's not part of my life anymore. Good. 3 years after the accidental texts, Amy and I got married. Small ceremony, close friends and family. My best man, Tom from the poker game, gave a toast. To Brian, who had the wisdom to recognize a mistake when it texted him by accident, and the strength to walk away from it. Everyone laughed and raised their glasses. That night, Amy asked, "Do you ever think about what would have happened if Sarah hadn't sent those texts to you?" Sometimes. I probably would have gone to poker that night. Come home to an empty bed. Never known she'd brought someone into our house. Would you have stayed with her? Maybe. For a while. Until I found out some other way. Or until I didn't. I'm glad she made that mistake. Me too. Best mistake she ever made. For both of us. 5 years after the divorce, I heard through mutual friends that Sarah had gotten married again. To someone she'd met online. I felt nothing hearing about it. No jealousy. No satisfaction. Just nothing. She was living her life. I was living mine. The difference was, mine was built on honesty. 10 years after Sarah sent me those texts, Amy and I had 2 kids. A house we bought together. Careers we both loved. I thought about that day sometimes. Sitting in my meeting, seeing my phone light up, opening what I thought would be a normal text from my wife, finding proof of her affair instead. If she'd been more careful, if she'd double-checked the contact name, if she'd sent those photos to the right Brian, I might never have known. Might have lived for years with someone who was lying to me. Might have missed out on meeting Amy. Might have missed out on this life. So in a strange way, I was grateful for Sarah's mistake. Not grateful for the betrayal, but grateful for the clarity. She'd show me exactly who she was in one accidental text message. And I believed her. The photos of our bedroom that she'd sent to another man became evidence in our divorce. The lingerie I'd never seen became proof of her planning. The timeline became undeniable. And the life I'd thought we had became something I was grateful to leave behind. Sarah had meant to send those texts to her lover. Instead, she'd sent them to me. And that one mistake had freed us both. Her to pursue whatever she was looking for. Me to find what I actually needed. Someone who'd never dream of doing what Sarah did. Someone who'd choose honesty over deception. Someone who'd build a life with me instead of lying through one. Amy never asked to see Sarah's texts. Never asked for details beyond what I volunteered. The past is the past, she'd say. I care about who you are now. And that was the difference. Sarah had cared about what I could provide while she did what she wanted. Amy cared about who I was while we built something together. That was worth more than any bedroom photo. More than any apology. More than any second chance. Sarah's accidental text had been the end of my first marriage. And the beginning of my real life. I'd take that trade any day. The woman who'd sent me proof of her affair by mistake had given me the greatest gift. The truth. Delivered directly to my phone. Time-stamped and photographed. Undeniable and clear. I hadn't had to hire a private investigator. Hadn't had to snoop through her phone. Hadn't had to wonder or doubt. She'd handed me everything I needed to walk away. And I'd taken it. Some people call me cold for divorcing her so quickly. But those people hadn't seen the photos. Hadn't read the texts. Hadn't heard her admit she was planning to bring another man to our bed. I'd seen all of it. And I'd acted accordingly. Fast. Decisively. Permanently. No second chances for someone who'd planned something like that. No forgiveness for someone who'd lied for months. Just a clean break and a clear conscience. Sarah had made her choice when she started the affair. I just made mine faster when she accidentally told me about it. And my choice had led here. To Amy. To our kids. To this life. A life built on trust, because I'd learned what a life without it looked like. A life built on honesty, because I'd seen what lies could destroy. A life built on mutual respect, because I'd experienced what contempt felt like. Sarah's accidental text had taught me what I wouldn't accept. Amy's consistent honesty had shown me what I deserved. And the difference between the two was the difference between existing and living. I was living now. Really living. With someone who'd never send photos to the wrong person. Because there was no wrong person. Just us. Building something real. Something honest. Something worth keeping. And that was everything Sarah's mistake had given me. The truth. The freedom. And the future I actually wanted. Not the one I'd been pretending to have. But the real one. The one where I didn't check my phone with dread. The one where I didn't wonder who she was really talking to. The one where bedroom photos were for us. Not for strangers. That was worth the pain of that day. Worth the shock of seeing those texts. Worth the work of divorce and moving on. Because on the other side of all of it was this. Peace. Trust. Love that didn't come with lies attached. Sarah had sent me photos of her bedroom. But it had stopped being our bedroom the moment she decided to share it with someone else. Now I had a bedroom with Amy. And it was actually ours. No secrets. No lies. No accidental text to the wrong person. Just us. And that was exactly how it should be. Sarah's mistake had been texting me instead of him. My mistake had been marrying her in the first place. But we'd both corrected our mistakes eventually. And now we were both exactly where we belonged. Apart. Living separate lives. Building separate futures. With the people who actually belonged in them. For Sarah, maybe she'd found that. For me, I absolutely had. And I had one accidentally sent text message to thank for it. The text that ended everything. And started everything better.